it's Nikki from Dame Mediation. One of the traps readers usually can start out, can fall into when they start out, get my words in, is that they have a tendency to, you get taught, things like, for instance, tarot readings, you get taught wands tend to be about work, pentacles, material goods, money, finances, etc., etc. So one of the biggest questions you get when you first kind of are reading for people is when you get cards out of what you see out of context. Someone asks you for about a career or a job, or finances, and you've got a Cups card. How do you interpret these? Now, one of the traps that I find people fall into, and actually I found this at the weekend with a younger reader, is that sometimes we can then change the question to fit the card. So it's a career question on work, and a Cups comes out, and this woman started talking about it as love, rather than working out that this was the question, and actually how do you then, how does a Cup card fit into a work situation? And this is really important. This kind of separates from when you start kind of learning the book meanings to the more intuitive side, the part when you start being able to expand on the readings. And this happens in all different, sides of divination. You can find it in mediumship or psychic work. You'll be given a symbol and you'll think, oh, that's odd, it must mean this. And actually you have to be clear on what the message you're actually being given and what the question is. Always keep the question in mind, because it seems like a lot of people aren't keeping that question in mind, and then they're answering and amending the question to suit the card that comes out for an answer. That's not the way that you should be doing it. You should be looking at the question and then looking at the card and putting it in context. Now, there are times where you will find that a career question comes up and it's answering for love, but any of the cards, any of the suits can come out to answer that. If it's coming out and you're automatically going Cups, romance, like especially the Two of Cups, romance, then you've got that set in your mind, and that becomes a projection, that becomes a way of you kind of, because you can't move out and see it as anything other than a romantic relationship. So, be aware that if that's what you're doing, you need to go back and look at it in context. You need to stop associating, it with particular parts of so Cups with romance. You need to go, it can be, but it can be all of these others, and you need to expand your knowledge of what those cards could be, and that happens with all divination.